Here you go, Mike. This is what I'm working on at the moment. She's running, as you saw before, doing the wheel bearings on both sides, so she can run straight again. The interior, my roommate actually made. He got a little Harbor Freight MIG welder and a little, whoopsie, brake's not on. But he used cardboard templates and made the top. He matched the curve that comes along the top there, and then he welded all these seams and then ground them down to make them look seamless. So what we're going to do next time is just cut out the whole big template of the whole thing. You can see there's a kick that wraps underneath the ECU. There's actually 2 bolts underneath here that the ECU will attach to on the underside. But we're going to cut it all out as a template and then use a big old sheet metal brake to bend them instead of weld them. And then all I have to do is put the end caps on. This is all sheet metal 18 gauge, and that curve actually lines up perfectly with the door right here, so it looks, it sits in the stock position. So we welded on these gauge bezels, 4 of these gauges here, 4 over here, and then I have the iPad that sits in the middle. All we had to do is drill a hole, and there's a big long arm on the other side that connects it, so it can still wiggle, but it never does while driving. You can tell from the seated position, it's a little bit, the steering wheel cuts it off, so we're going to cut the steering wheel off here, and then use bicycle grip tape to cover it all up, and then that way we can actually see the tablet. But this is the switch panel that I mounted up. I ran all the wiring in the car. So one of my fuse boxes, let's see if I can get a good angle here, sitting, there we go, this guy right there, it's the back side of it. But it controls all my engine stuff, and then there's another fuse box right underneath my computer, which is not mounted up correctly. Another fuse box right there, that controls all my lighting. And then wideband controller, a whole bunch of other messy stuff. But, so ignition turns on 5 relays, fuel pump, computer, injectors, all the necessary ones. So primes, then I have my engine start, and then I have headlight, high beam, then turn signal goes left and right, and then middle is off. I need to put in hazards. I also want to mount my 2 fuse blocks into the dash here, the center part, so one will go across this way and the other will sit that kind of like that, so I can have access to everything. They'll have nice covers on them, and then the whole dash is going to all go into one huge mil-spec connector, probably somewhere convenient. So when I take the dash out, I can keep all my switch panel and everything, gauges, everything in there, and just disconnect the one connector and then take the dash out. So I'll redo the wiring for when he does the next dash. But it's kind of fun. Oil temp and water temp are both in Celsius, because if you buy them from Hong Kong for $10, they don't have Fahrenheit over there, and they won't switch it. This is my wideband. I'll have oil pressure right there. Since I don't have my stock cluster, I don't have fuel temp, or I'm sorry, fuel level. So I have a fuel level gauge that'll go right here, and then I have 3 other spots for whatever I want to put on later. But yeah, it's a nice little piece. I like the way it came out. We had a company called Ditch Witch here paint it. They have electrostatic paint, and it comes out really nice. It's kind of hard to scratch too. GoPro setup, of course, towards the driver and passenger, so whenever I get it tuned and can actually scare some people, then it will, we can capture it. And then this is the back of the, woo, there we go. There's the back of the car. That inline right there is just a 100 amp circuit breaker. So if I press a button, it'll disconnect the battery from the whole system. And it's just like disconnecting terminals. So that makes it easy. And messy wiring for taillights. I have like extra 10 feet wired. But other than that, that's about it for interior. We're still working on cleaning up wiring, getting it all situated, but it runs.